Today's reaction to the dragonage Veilguard combat has me a little bit on the fence. I don't want to hate the game, but I already know that there's a no death mode, and it's like, what's the point in combat if you can't die? It looks a little bit Dark Souls-like, and I don't mind that. In fact, it's a little bit more interesting, I think, and maybe even more engaging. Hopefully it'll be a lot of fun. This is an introduction to high-level combat. Footage has been edited for brevity and to avoid major spoilers. Whiteout Fortress is under attack. Oh, hang on, missed it. Whiteout Fortress is under attack from Gillanan and her archdemon. It does kind of give you a bit of a story spoiler there, but you know, that's alright. Okay, from the get-go it looks interesting. Equip runes to enhance your power set and access unique abilities when activated. Choose runes that boost a warrior's damage and help with crowd control. So, I mean, that was something that was in Origins, wasn't it? You could modify weapons like with Sandal. That was pretty cool.
Enchantment? Enchantment!
I mean, this looks a little bit simplified. It doesn't look as detailed maybe as some character screens we've seen. That's actually pretty cool. I do kind of like that. The fact that you can turn your shield into like a fiery weapon, that's quite cool. I mean, clearly this is later in the game because they're level 30. For this build, you'll want a full set of heavy armor to activate our heavy armor mastery passive. Right, okay, yeah, so like you get some kind of bonus then for having a full set of heavy as opposed to some heavy and some light, which, I mean, I guess makes sense. Although I'm not really sure why somebody would mix it up. But, I mean, this does kind of give you some flexibility, I guess, if you can have multiple, you know? I mean, all of this looks very familiar. Again, it's the character models that concern me. This is just one type of build. Other examples include customizing your emphasis or shield toss or takedowns. To be honest, the shield toss is quite cool to me. It's like Captain America type stuff. This is a Grey Warden mission, so you should bring Dava in it. Okay. I suppose it might just mean for combat reasons you should bring Dava in, but I'm excited about the prospect of bringing certain companions and getting specific dialogue from certain people depending on who you bring. Models are just concerning to me. Oh cool, here we go. Alright, I'm quite excited now. Darkspawn are vulnerable to fire. Abilities which exploit weaknesses have a green outline. Okay, so it does kind of give you some assistance on what does the most damage. I mean, I don't know how I feel about that. It's kind of nice that the player could maybe figure that out for themselves. But I think it's nice to sort of figure out the vulnerabilities. It's like The Witcher, if anyone's played The Witcher, like having the ability to look through the bestiary and find out about certain enemies and have that as an incentive to read up about the enemies, I think is a really cool idea. And I think maybe that was a better way to go about this in this game, having that as like an encouragement to read them. Like, I felt like that might have been a better way to go about it. I mean, I can understand the comparisons to Dark Souls, but it also just kind of feels like a lot of games that should kind of have that concept if you're blocking. Jedi Fallen Order is very Dark Souls-like, but it still works, you know? The ability to actually time your blocks and time your parries, yeah, it is going to be different to Dragon Age. But to be honest, in my personal opinion, one of the weaknesses of Dragon Age Origins, and you guys can let me know if you disagree, but it was the combat, it was the fact that it was slow, and the fact that this encourages you to be a bit more focused. There's nothing wrong with that, I feel. I like that idea. Having certain passives make your weapons stronger if you manage to parry. That's cool. I thought it would just be an opportunity attack. Use the kick ability to deal massive damage and knock enemies off. Okay, that looks like fun. Shield throw is an effective range attack that can destroy obstacles. See, that's cool. Environmental damage. But yeah, I mean, I do get Dark Souls vibes from this. Oh, that's cool. Enemies have a lavender stagger bar that builds when you land hits. While an enemy is staggered, they take bonus damage for a powerful takedown. That instantly makes me think of Fallen Order. I haven't played enough Dark Souls, really, to remember. I mean, it even makes me think of Force Unleashed, where you have that final interaction at the end to finish him off. This Rook is a warrior specializing in the champion branch, defensive style. Okay. So that last one wasn't? To uniquely damage... I like that. That's cool. Oh, I like that. Do you know what would be cool? Is if you could use the spear to pull them into holes. That would... I don't know if you can do that, but that would be sick. Rook can create incredibly damaged combo destinations with the help of their companions. Okay, this sounds a lot like biotic combos as well. And I'm sorry I'm making a lot of Mass Effect references, but it does feel very Mass Effect-y. You know, you've got biotic combos, you know, explosions, like tech combos and things like that. Which is cool, because I felt like Inquisition kind of had a bit repetitive combat. Oh, that's cool. Lucanus can use Eviscerate to detonate the combat and strike the whole... This is cool. I like this. This is fun. But yeah, the rolling does feel a little bit soulsy, but I don't mind it. I mean, look at that. That looks so fun. That looks really fun. I actually like this. I really like the combat. And I know Tim really doesn't like it. So, like I said, I'll be interested to talk to him about it. But, oh man, no, the combat to me looks really fun. I don't get it. I don't get why people don't like the combat. I mean, I get that it's different from Origins. But, I mean, people just have to admit that Origins did feel a little bit, you know, that's one of the reasons why I struggle to replay Origins, is because the combat just feels so slow. I have to have something in the background because it's just so slow. My only concern with this is I forget that the companions are actually in the fight. I mean, aside from those little markers, which to be honest look a little bit cartoony, I can't see them. There's not a real indicator that they're there. Except from that, when you command them to do abilities, obviously. But yeah, I mean, graphics-wise, it does feel like it's not exactly the same as Inquisition, and like not... as in it could look a little bit better, but it's not the end of the world. It looks really cool to me. It genuinely looks really fun. I'm going to have a very interesting chat with Tim, because I know he doesn't like the look of it. I've never been able to say before that I'm excited about the combat in a game, but yes, it is Souls-like combat, but it's not the first time we've seen that executed in a game before, you know? Like I said, we've seen it in Fallen Order, and everyone seemed to love that game because it had a variety of difficulty options. If this game is open enough to have a no-death option, you're going to have a lot of customization, you know, a lot of personalizing your own experience. Like, if you want it to be like the hardest game in the world and want it to essentially be like a fantasy Dark Souls game, then you can. I'm not going to lie, I think that's a good way of doing it. You know, no one seemed to complain about the combat in Fallen Order. When they introduced that story mode, it really helped and brought, you know, a lot of more casual players in, which I think is great. I will be honest, I did struggle through Fallen Order, because I played it before they introduced the story mode. And I'm sorry I'm making a lot of comparisons to Fallen Order. I didn't play Dark Souls, I'm sorry. If they introduce a story mode in Dark Souls, which would defeat the point of Dark Souls, then maybe I would. I think Dragon Age has always implemented features from games around the time when it's being developed. You know, it's always taken inspiration from outside material. I think Dragon Age 2 changed because of how Mass Effect was successful. I think they've gotten so used to how simple and easy the interactions were, or the cutscenes were, or the dialogue was, because of how they used it in Mass Effect. It just seemed so transferable to Dragon Age 2, and in Inquisition as well, obviously. Where did they get their open world idea from? They got it from Skyrim, of course. But I think, in a way, by taking away the open worldness, they are again taking inspiration from other games, because at the moment, open world games aren't really the trend. Look at the games that are a little less open world. Like, I wouldn't say Baldur's Gate is an open world, and I feel like this game is taking a little bit from Baldur's Gate, from what we've heard at least about this game being all about the characters. But I can't complain. I know we've only seen the warrior combat so far, and someone can send me a link if we've already got rogue gameplay, for example. I think it was a clever idea to show the warrior, because how many people are going to play a warrior? I'm not sure. If the mage is anything like how fun the warrior looks, I'm excited to play it. It looks like it could be really fun and have such a variety, especially if you take into account the different specializations and everything. It looks like this game is going to, yes, be simplified, because it looks like you have 3 or 4 main abilities, but not very different from Inquisition anyway. With the passives and everything, your combat will still be varied. I genuinely was a bit concerned after my discussion with Tim, what we both thought about the reveal trailer. We both didn't really feel very excited, but I think it felt very Marvel-y in how it was promoted. It's like Baldur's Gate 3 said, I know this is a bit of a ramble, modern marketing is dead. People aren't just going to trust you on your word. They're not going to trust what you show them, because what you show them is going to only be what you choose to show them. But after seeing certain bits, like in the brighter environments where we really see the character models, I'm not sure about how the character models look. it really didn't shine a limelight on it in the combat, you know? They chose to show us that segment, and I think maybe they chose to show that segment because it was darker and harder to notice. The models are what they are, you know, it's not about how good the graphics are, it's about the story. And like I said in our other discussion, which we will have appear on screen at the end of the video, the environments look great. It's just the character models. That's my reaction to the Dragonage Veilguard Warrior gameplay, and I really hope that we'll see some more, maybe of the Rogue, maybe of the Mage. What are you excited to play the most? And as I said, on screen now will be a video about me and Tim discussing the Dragon Age release date reveal trailer, which showed us a little bit more of the cutscenes, the models, and our concerns about them. Don't forget to hit that like button, please hit subscribe, let us know what you thought, and we'll see you next time, Warden Commanders.